Welcome to the SpongeDudes. This is a review of the SpongeBob SquarePants TV show. We're on season 1, and this week we're recording Naughty Nautical Neighbors and Boating School, and we'll be starting with Naughty Nautical Neighbors, and my name is Babbage.
My name is Clater Tot.
I'm Tommy.
I am Noah.
Yes, another introduction.
And here we go. We are starting, like I said, with Naughty Nautical Neighbors, which is a goofy episode where SpongeBob and Patrick just try to be best friends with Squidward, and he ain't having it. So starting off, we got the guys just goofing off in the backyard, sending messages to each other through bubbles, and Squidward's just trying to enjoy a cake that he made.
Souffle.
Yeah.
Another successful souffle at that.
If we're going to be honest here, Squidward, just close your window,
He's trying to enjoy the beautiful day, which is also what SpongeBob and Patrick are doing.
This is that's like a recurring theme in SpongeBob is Squidward just looking out his window onto those two having a good time and deciding that it's like his personal task to either envy them or destroy what they're doing. Like we're 4 episodes in, this is already the second time he's looked out his window and thought, hey, those kids.
Yeah, Squidward must be ancient. He's very old.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Let them enjoy their fun, man.
This is
also
like
his outfit.
Like Jackson said, this is like the bubble sand episode where he's just like looking outside, trying to enjoy his time, and then allowing other people to decide if he enjoys his time or not. It's like the exact same episode, which becomes a reoccurring theme in SpongeBob, where you'll see like an episode where it's just like the same thing, but just a different like subject. I don't know. Yeah, I'll point it out when we come to it. It's definitely the shoes tied and forgetting how to make a Krabby Patty episodes. But yeah, I mean, those are the same episode. And this is the same episode as Bubble Stand, honestly.
Yeah, it's true. And I don't think the kids notice, so that's good.
No. But the people who are listening to this podcast are old enough to notice that. So
all 5 of them.
Just a weird deja vu effect to the kids watching, probably. Like, is this that episode? Nah.
Yeah, they came to work.
I think it's like a surprise factor. Like when you turn it on, you're like, is this episode? Oh no, it's this one? That's great.
Yeah.
As Jackson said, he's making a souffle, and I want to know, what is the goo in that cake, man?
That purple goo.
I think we all know what it is. It's his excretion.
Oh, it's squidding. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying something worse?
I'm going with something worse.
What would that be?
Cummy gummies. Half off.
And this is the ad placement for Cummy Gummies.
Wait, the goo is Cummy Gummies? Did he re-melt down the Cummy Gummies?
No, the souffle itself is a Cummy Gummy. He just calls it a souffle to make himself feel better.
Oh, it's leaking a bit because he didn't let it prove in the drawer.
Okay.
Fucking gross.
Also, he's doing some role playing too. That's why he went to that outfit with the hair and all.
Dude, he gets cleaned up.
Did you see that toupee?
Fast, dude. He was in there for like 5 seconds and comes out all dressed up.
Looking so goofy.
He threw socks out too. I just want to point that out. In all his clothes, a pair of socks came out.
Why wasn't he dressed as a chef? Like, why wasn't he full role playing? That was kind of what I thought.
Chef is not his fantasy. That's
okay.
That's he looks down upon them.
So he's trying to enjoy this souffle, and SpongeBob and Patrick are sending messages to each other across Squidward's yard because Squidward lives in between them through bubble form.
Can we talk about how Patrick just deep throats the shit out of that fucking bubble wand?
Right? The animators for the show are corny.
I was like, what the fuck? Why?
So Squidward then decides to send messages to take place of what they're sending to each other and talk shit to both SpongeBob and Patrick, which makes for fun, misunderstanding, classic cartoon episode type stuff.
Yeah. You get like half a second. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you get like half a second where SpongeBob actually seems like a nice guy. Like he's showing how wholesome his friendship is with Patrick. He literally says, "Patrick, you're my best friend in the entire world," like in the sweetest voice. But that message gets canceled, and by the end of the episode, we see what utter scum SpongeBob is once again. But we'll get to that point. Sorry, continue.
I was just saying, there's like a wide shot of Patrick's backyard, and he has a grill. And my question is, what is Patrick grilling up? You know, like SpongeBob can rip it on the grill. But what has Patrick got going on back there?
He has it for SpongeBob to come over.
Oh, it's like I got you. It's like a trap. Like SpongeBob, I got my grill all fired up. What are you gonna come make me?
Yes, he's too
Their weird
stupid
relationship.
Notice the pineapple garage in the same scene. Like, is that the one episode where SpongeBob has a garage in the back of his pineapple?
I noticed that too. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Leaf blower episode, actually. Remember?
That's right.
Jolting out of it.
You know, I think he has a home gym in there because remember the first episode
That's right,
he picks up
dude. Holy shit.
his bunny barbell. He doesn't have a car. As we see later in the episode. So.
He's got his priorities in check.
Does it just change every episode? Is it one of those rooms?
I think so. I said so basically it goes to where they basically break up from being friends. And then Squidward is laughing so hard that he chokes on a fork when he comes out to watch the aftermath. And then Patrick comes out and saves him. And then before we get any further, I just want to say Squidward instantly friend zones Patrick. Like, you're such a good friend. He makes it very obvious to say friend. So Patrick does not get the wrong idea. They are not romantically involved.
Just to clarify, he was laying it on a little thick.
And so like then SpongeBob and Patrick basically fight back and forth about their who is Squidward's best friend, and that's basically the end of the episode. I don't care enough to go into detail. We can just talk about the details from here. But go ahead.
Yeah, the choking goes on for way too long, and also, why did they animate butt cheeks on Squidward?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're leaving out a lot of detail to say that's like the end of the episode. We still haven't even talked about SpongeBob entering Squidward's home, playing a bassinet. Not an instrument, but it is according to SpongeBob.
Also, his red Speedo, he looks good in it. It's a little tight. You can see the ripples in his spongy frame.
So Patrick is in the house. Squidward starts to play the clarinet. Patrick falls asleep instantly because it's a boring-ass instrument. And anyone who plays that is no talent.
Okay, wow. All right. Some of us like.
I am of the authority that clarinet's
it is a great
somewhat cool.
You can play it jazz, right now? Dude.
If you can, hey, I can bust out some scales.
I want a tune.
I'm with Patrick. I'm falling asleep instantly.
Just tune it? Okay.
The best head of my life with his head back. And then Squidward drags him out of the house and hurts his back. And SpongeBob comes to the rescue. Rips off his clothes and his Speedo.
Squidward would rather be in back pain for the rest of his life than accept SpongeBob's help. Like,
to be fair, it was terrifying how SpongeBob was going to help him.
Yeah, no, SpongeBob comes in hot like a fucking torpedo in World War II.
He goes, hey, it's my time to shine.
Spears him in the back and helps him out.
We're missing an important part of the
episode.
What is it? That I feel that we skipped over, and we're not
Patrick
giving
knows
it
fucking first aid.
We're not giving him its just due. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I know what it is. Let's do it.
So it's when Patrick and SpongeBob, they're fighting it out because Squidward's, sowing seeds of doubt of their friendship and just roasting both of them, and then they both get really frustrated and they're like, tartar sauce, and SpongeBob just storms off into his house. And then Patrick's like, okay, I see how it is, and he storms back into his house and he slams his house on his head.
And then the image of
Patrick crushed by the rock.
Yeah. With the rock stuck on his head. That's so good.
Did y'all like? How did they not see fucking Squidward right in the middle of all of their houses, just blowing bubbles, and they're just sitting there staring forward, like it's.
Also, the murmuring he was doing, he was thoroughly enjoying himself doing that. Maybe using some more of his juices that we previously discussed.
Well,
For the listeners, we are referring to cum. Squidward's cum.
He used the juice out of the souffle to blow those bubbles, which is, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not
going.
So then Squidward invites them both in to like a dinner party, like your classic, like, I'm going to make you guys best friends again, because he knows that they're going to ruin his life if they are his best friend. Which, unfortunately, what Squidward doesn't know is that they're going to ruin his life no matter what.
Squidward!
And so he invites them in, and he offers them soda water, and the only note I took there is no child knows what soda water is. Like, that's such a classic, like, cartoon, like, holding that water bottle with, like, the little fizzy thing on it. But,
Squidward. I just learned. Today I learned. Nice.
Yeah,
I knew what soda water was because of that episode as a kid and was, like, excited to try it, and then it's just,
horrible.
Carbonated.
It's just carbonated water, yeah. No flavor, yeah. So then they get all full, and then they burp. They have basically like a burping contest where they can't hold it back.
They both look like Jabba the Hutt, and Patrick's got a nipple on his head.
Yes, that's. And go ahead. I want you to tell the audience what you want to do.
Okay, so imagine Patrick fat and swollen from all this sparkling soda or what have you. And then, Patrick's head is shaped like, a pyramid or a triangle. And it's very bloated, but then on the very tip top of his head, he's got like some weird like formation on the top, and it looks very much like a nipple, and like I kind of want to just give it a little flick to make sure it's at attention, and just go to town.
Suck the carbonation out of him.
Suck what's left of his brain out from the top of his head. Thoughts?
I completely agree. I think the carbonation.
If you want to practice, I've got nipples.
If I flick them, would they stand in attention the way that Tommy described?
Yes.
I got to make sure it's aware of what's.
What are you talking about? The way
happen.
he just described it has him at attention.
I just want to say, back to SpongeBob. I love that they're holding hands in the end.
Yeah, so
after they destroy
Squidward's again. They're standing on his table after they destroy his house.
Technically, Patrick is the better friend too. Like, SpongeBob broke his fucking instrument, dude. Like,
Patrick broke his back. I guess that's more. Yeah,
this is
that's more Squidward. That's not bad.
And that's pretty much in the episode. I mean, Squidward gets hurt again, but yeah. And that is
my
Naughty Nautical Neighbors. Squidward brought this up on himself.
A classic.
He's kind of like whatever his name is pushing the rock up the hill, only for it to fall back down.
Jackson?
I was gonna say syphilis, but that is not his name.
That's very close. Sisyphus.
Oh, wow, that is close.
Now that we're back from the ads.
Oh my god, I hate it every time.
You don't like my $10 microphone?
Was it really $10?
No, it was like $40, but it fucking sucks. I need a new one.
Be amazing.
Anyways, this episode's time for what's it actually called?
Ready to move on. He wants to talk about boating school.
Boating school, yes.
Which is number 4, part 2. And here we are, SpongeBob waking up, ready to go get his boating license.
Shoots himself into the calendar.
The first thing I have to say is March is a big month for SpongeBob. Now, looking forward to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, March is when the grand opening of the Krusty Krab 2 happens, which is also this month that he wants to get his boating license. So
Wait,
I don't know what
is it in
semblance
this-
that has. I didn't look it up because I'm too lazy. So if you
It
want
wasn't in
to,
his calendar. All it was boating school.
yeah, but it says in March.
I know,
So
but
I
So
don't know
is it in
what's
the same
important to this.
time or?
No, I'm just saying the same month. Like it's a big month for SpongeBob. Maybe the creator's birthday is in it or something. I don't know.
But if Krusty Krab 2 was in the works, you think he'd have it on the calendar way before.
Yeah, dude.
We
He's
could
God,
already
it's
employed
not
done
the
that.
same
every
month.
month.
Why are
for
you
a
being
reason.
like this?
I-
You think
Maybe
it only
he's
existed
employed.
1 year? Please.
It could.
He
We don't
celebrates
know.
Halloween. We've already reviewed this episode. Stop.
They don't know
We
it.
just need a little bit more money to get.
Well, there's a little bit more money to be really popping. But I mean, maybe they celebrate Halloween at a different time in Bikini Bottom. Their culture is different than ours.
Their life cycle is a lot shorter than humans. Some of those fish.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
What
so
is a
basically
starfish's
this episode-
lifespan?
Too short, I
long
tell you.
time. Too
short.
short, I tell you. I actually read an article today that said the lobsters can live infinity. External
what?
factors are the only thing that kill lobsters.
And they have sentience, I'm pretty sure, right? Aren't they aware of?
No, that's humans.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
pretty
it's a
sure
lobster
lobsters have
believe
like.
that they're sentient. Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's.
Anyway, this episode, SpongeBob goes to do a test for his driver's license, his boating license, if you will. And some old goofs kind of occur throughout. We'll talk about them as we get there. The first bit is him showing up to Mrs. Puff's boating school, where he says that he's ready. He's riding a unicycle on the way over.
Love the
He's
unicycle.
good to go.
Hi, I'm ready. I'm ready.
He throws the unicycle into the trash can because he doesn't need that shit anymore. He's about to get his boating license. He's going to be able to
I'm
drive.
confident.
And he walks up the deck and says, "I'm ready to get my license."
Fellow
And the
student.
fish says,
Hey,
I
doubt
doubt it.
"That's a good one. I did not remember that happening. That's incredible that fish hit him with that." He even gives him the finger guns with it. Hey, I doubt it.
I didn't pay attention to the finger gun.
So is it easy to get? I guess it's like the same as getting your driver's license, but like, did you guys have any difficulty getting your driver's license? Did you pass or fail your
No,
first
it was
time?
way too easy.
Yeah, no, they didn't
Yeah.
make me do shit. They
It
just drove
probably
around
should have
the
been
block.
harder.
Yeah,
no,
I took a block.
I literally
Uh,
drove to my grandmother's house and back, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Tommy?
It was way less than a mile.
Yeah, it was super easy.
My guy was on the phone talking about getting rolls of pennies for some type of event the entire time. So
I kinda wanna talk
super
more about
easy.
that.
So SpongeBob, you should be able to skate through this, but he cannot. He goes through the written, like the oral exam pretty easily. He knows all the answers before she even asks them because he's done it so many times. And then getting to the driver's test, all he does is floor it and then crashes it, and Miss Puff dies halfway, and then they revive her in the ambulance, I assume, and then
Oh,
know.
SpongeBob, why?
My
My
leg.
leg.
This is the first episode, the first appearance of Mrs. Puff. So that's a fun fact for you about this episode.
Probably
And
my leg, too.
leg.
Yeah, I
No.
didn't find that fact online, but it seems like this is the first time my leg showed up. He
Fred
does it
my
twice.
leg.
Not to spoil the episode, but he does do it twice. And my leg is just a classic SpongeBob line.
Which will get ruined in an episode entirely devoted to it.
I'm not aware of this episode, so are we going to make it there, or is this
There's
way
no
down
chance
the
we
line?
make it there. No shot. No
We're done.
shot.
We're done after season 1. So
It's like
Just call
season 10, I think, or 11.
We're done after season 1.
Well, we can't spoil it. No, I mean,
Quick, edit this out. Edit this out.
cut it.
cut that.
Cut it.
So he crashes. Miss Puff has to go to the hospital. He goes home. He's really distraught, and he gets in bed and he has this thick bump sticking out of his butt, like underneath the covers.
It's
Like,
yes.
SpongeBob is thicky though. And then Patrick calls him on a radio that's in the bed as well. And he goes down a slide into a library.
It's his closet, dude.
No, he opens up the closet downstairs. The library is not part of the closet. SpongeBob is a learned man, you
The
know?
closet is part of the library.
That closet's revisited a few times, or that library, but I think in like later seasons, I don't remember that existing at all.
It definitely
that like
pops
I
up a
think
few
it's here and
times for
there.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's in
here
the
and
dream
there.
episode that I remember because
Gary.
Gary's down there when he's tall. Yeah, but
The
He's
SpongeBob, where he gets the suds.
we'll see. We'll get there eventually.
One thing I want to say is, why was Gary wearing boots at one frame of this episode?
I didn't notice the boots.
I didn't notice the boots
really?
either. Yeah,
There's no way.
No, yeah, I saw him.
I'll say that
He was
SpongeBob
listening.
wears his shoes to bed, which is really weird. I did that one time when I was a child, and I got some
God,
light up
why
Darth
would you
Vader sneakers
do that?
for Christmas. And I wore them to bed, but
So
that
excited.
was it.
You're so excited for those fucking shoes. Oh.
Hell yeah, brother! You ever had some light up Darth Vader sneakers?
Were they
No.
Skechers?
Probably. They came from Payless, so whatever
Sure.
brand that was.
They gotta be Velcro Skechers.
Oh, they
I
were
did it.
Velcro, 100%.
The only light-ups I had were Power Rangers. Those were my favorite.
Did it one
Which
time
one?
in the army and it was a mistake.
Oh, it was the red Power Ranger. Obviously, I'm not a
great.
loser.
I was a blue Power Ranger growing up, but red is definitely the better one.
Wait,
Obviously.
you wore your light up shoes in the army? And it was-
Yeah, dude, I have my Darth Vader light up shoes, man. They're like, you can wear those. They give away our position. I was like, damn. I wanted to be stylish, man.
What a way
That's
to
why
go
you're
out.
missing both legs. Yeah.
Yep, yep, that sucks.
He now wears the light up sneakers on his hands.
Good.
So Patrick
please
comes up with this
subscribe to
idea.
our podcast so I can get
You can
light
get
up
fake
prosthetic legs.
Give us money so we can buy legs.
My light up prosthetic
So he can get a second pair of Skechers to put on his new feet. So then he can go on all fours. No one will catch him then.
Looks like
So
Bulma
fast.
walking around.
So fast.
His hands and legs.
Chop off your arms while you're at it. Just get some new like robot arms. You'll be unstoppable.
The worst joke.
When I
It's
knew that my
Veterans Month.
flesh was the
Please.
weakness of my body.
Please, this November is the worst. It's Veterans Month.
I'm sorry,
That's
dude.
what we're talking about. We're trying to bring attention
Oh,
to this matter.
So SpongeBob kills Miss Puff, and she has to go to the hospital. There are people watching him do the driving test, and I was like, my question was basically like when he's lifting the weights on the beach. Why are people watching this?
I mean, it's kind of like in the Civil War when people would walk up to watch the battles. It's just when you know, like, an out of the ordinary, calamitous event is about to happen, and you can watch from a safe distance. Why not?
Well, I have another question with that is, why do they allow him to keep taking these tests? He is murdering Mrs. Puff, excuse me.
Yeah, she has clear PTSD. Like, when they sit down in the car, she's stuttering. She knows what SpongeBob's going to say before he says it. Like, she is having a bad time.
I have
ahead.
a point later on because she hits it later on about Miss Puff.
He needs his glasses.
So he's in the library, right? I think we already passed this, but he's in the library. Squidward's like, Patrick's talking to him on the radio, and then he tells him like, "I can help you take this test," and he shoves a radio in his head with like the radio antenna popping out of his head, and he's like, I can help you with this. Just let me help you, basically. And then they put a cowboy hat on him, and then send him on his way the next day to take the test. The next day. And somehow Patrick knows how to drive, even though he doesn't have a car.
I thought he said he knew how to drive. That's why he could help him.
Well, he says he knows how, but he doesn't have any proof. And SpongeBob is just down the clown.
If he can drive a rock, he can drive a car.
This is true.
Hey, Patrick literally just sits in his rock all day. Like, what does he even need a car?
Studying. Yeah, he's
Or-
just studying.
So Patrick is in SpongeBob's library with a big old telescope looking at SpongeBob. With SpongeBob has that hat on, and he yells, "Testing, testing!" And he just screams and says testing really loud.
Testing!
Ah! Testing!
SpongeBob
And then
just sitting
SpongeBob
there
just
without a care in the
calmly-
world.
Yeah, SpongeBob calmly answers and he goes, "Yeah, I got you." And so then he guides SpongeBob through the driving test.
Act natural.
That was what he needs to do. I have to sneeze. I can't get it out. It's not coming.
You mean to tug on your nose?
Yes, please.
Trying to
Pull my
light in your
finger.
face.
Doot, doot.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What I said was, shouldn't they be driving subs since they're underwater? Like, wouldn't a boat just float up to the top? Why would they need to know how to drive boats?
I mean, Goo Lagoon.
This is true.
Checkmate.
Checkmate,
Actually, Goo Lagoon makes
SpongeBob.
sense.
Apologists.
Logic is
Lagoon.
not here in this
Uh,
children's show.
That was a bad argument on my part because Goo Lagoon, it's literally goo, so it's a pool of a different liquid within the water that is. But then they call it water, so don't test me too hard on this theory. Anyway, slightly
They
more
drown
logical
on-
than the boats.
They drown on the goo later. We'll talk about that.
Well, they surf on the goo, which means that there are
Wait.
tides on the goo, which means the moon affects the goo.
And the lifeguard dude says something along the lines of "Get out of the water!" Oh, something like that. So-
I died, dude! Oh!
yeah.
It's a later episode, but yes. That's Bubble Butt. But yes.
I want to
Boats.
say, but and also Mrs. Puff comes in from the ambulance.
She hops out of the ambulance fresh to hop into the car with SpongeBob, knowing that she's going right back in that ambulance.
She must not live in America because teacher money not going to pay for.
But at the same time, she definitely lives in America because she's back at work the second after.
Oh, she gets
To
paid
pay
to
for it.
continue because she's a teacher. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe she has great health insurance or.
Well, off the
Covers your
coast of
annual
Hawaii,
insurance.
I think is kind of canonical with like their setting.
Does George Bush have sovereign over these people at the time?
Is
It'd be
Goo Lagoon
1999,
oil? Is
so it
the
would not
U.S.
be George Bush yet.
You're right. I'm thinking 2000.
Are
It'd
they
be,
in
it'd
the federal
be
waters?
I did
It'd be
not have
Clinton.
sexual relations with that woman. That's George. Or that's
Yes,
Bill.
that's
Murray.
the thing he said. Yeah.
That's the thing he said.
And
It's
the
famous for it.
George's
That's
George's
right.
famous one is I did not cause that accident.
That accident.
9/11.
Whoa!
All right. Anyway,
Veterans
Patrick guides SpongeBob, Patrick knows how to drive a boat. SpongeBob can follow instructions, and the finish line is in sight. They're down the main stretch, and suddenly Miss Puff makes some comments about how it would be cheating if there was a radio in his head with an antenna coming out of him, which SpongeBob
Spot
then
on.
admits directly to that. And that is what's happening. During that time, Miss Puff is telling SpongeBob, just get to the finish line, which leads
She's
me
that
to
way.
my point. She is literally not above putting lives in danger to
We
pass
need
SpongeBob.
We need to audit this woman.
She's like, get SpongeBob out of my class. I don't care. As long as he passes, get him on the road and kill people. I don't care. As long as he's not my problem. Like that's her mindset right now, and forever for the entirety of the series.
And my question is, can you blame her?
No, SpongeBob is irritating as shit.
He is horrible and a demon to her.
I mean, does she have no authority to just fail him from boating school and just say, don't come back. You were bad.
His audience members must make a lot of money for the school, is all I have to think.
Yeah.
Well, because he knocks down 2 lighthouses during his time there, so the insurance must cover that. God, think about the insurance bill.
All the crashed boats, like every week crashing the driving boat.
So, of course, SpongeBob crashes. He does not get the license, and then Miss Puff gets shoved into an ambulance. Miss Puff is a pufferfish, and every time he crashes, she, like, puffs up. That's her thing.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Why?
Yeah,
There's one note I took,
Go ahead.
and it's SpongeBob and Patrick talking long distance on walkie-talkies. As a child, I wanted that. I mean, obviously they're just basically cell phones, but I wanted walkie-talkies that could do several miles of conversating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we all?
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll lead into that then. Did any of you guys get walkie-talkies, like, at any point in childhood?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How far did they go?
12 feet.
You can still see the person who you're talking to, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's actually clearer to just talk to them.
You
Hey,
can put
you.
a cup on a string and talk to them more clear than the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
So yeah, SpongeBob fails, and that's the end of the episode.
I love
I love when,
I love how the paramedics shove her into the ambulance, I want to say.
Noises too, the whatever the fuck it sounded like. And then Patrick was like, "Hey, act normal," and then apparently
she must have
SpongeBob's-
had her sides buttered up to fit in that the back of that.
You're saying she was lubed up? Miss Puff lubed?
She used
Maybe
Squidward's, it excretes.
Ooh, or maybe she excretes her own secretion.
Secretes her
No
own
like, no like.
excretion.
I'm gonna say like about the past 2 episodes. Before we go any further, the animation is janky as heck.
I love it.
It was like so bad. It felt like an earlier episode, like one that they made before the pilot. Like they cut so many frames where SpongeBob is like whipping around. I don't know how to explain it, but if you just watch it, you're just like, this is not good.
Yeah,
Like-
the backgrounds are really minimal. Like the fish in the audience are just like a shitty sketch drawing. The lighthouse that they crash into just has no detail. The backgrounds have nothing in them. It really is like the lowest budget SpongeBob animation.
Yeah, and I
So,
think
like,
that
it-
both crashes are the exact same. Like it's the same lighthouse. It's just the same thing over again. They even say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It literally makes me think like maybe they outsourced this episode to fill like a slot. Like sometimes like animation studios will send them out to other countries and be like, just make this. And like you'll see like mistakes. Like honestly, like and even in like great animation like shows like the Batman the Animated Series, you can see like mistakes where they sent them out to like China and then they paid them like a dime to animate it for 24 hours or whatever. And you just see like a coloring mistake or whatever.
My big question to you guys is, why does SpongeBob have a toenail?
Or a toe. Or
It's-
feet,
yeah, that's-
or arms, or a nose, or a mouth, or eyes.
Yeah, but that's getting a little specific. I get the toe. Like, we're expanding it, but why a toenail? Why did they put that there?
I mean, would you
Kids
remember
know-
that scene as
Kids know
much?
toenails, you know?
that toe is
Yeah.
strong. It broke through his leather shoe.
How do you know it's leather? It could be pleather. It's pretty shiny.
Or
He has the nail specifically to help him dig through shoes when he needs to.
I mean,
There's also-
I don't know if we'll make it there or not, but Squidward has a toenail as well. So
Ugh.
you all know the
I
episode.
hate that episode.
You all
Oh,
know the
man.
episode.
Okay.
And that's just like one of the top 3 grossest thing in that one episode too.
Yes, it is. The other one's the toilet crawling up, but we'll get there. Maybe.
Already spoiled
So
it.
we've reached the end of the episode here, and I just have to ask you guys: do you have a favorite quote or a favorite moment?
My favorite quote in the episode is whenever Squidward goes, "I can't believe this is happening to me," or whatever. Whenever they're fighting over him, just like sheer fear and panic.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about you, Tommy?
I have a few.
Give us your top one.
You have to pick one, Tommy, and that's the rule.
But I love them.
One.
Okay, I have to pick which one I love more. I would have to go with, "Hey, I'm ready to get my license. Yeah, I'm gonna get it." And the fish is like, "I doubt it." Finger guns.
That's great. Mine is just the Patrick crushing the home on himself.
Oh, that's good too. This is where his smile.
I like Patrick putting on SpongeBob pants too. That one's good.
Oh, yeah,
That's
sweet.
a good
Patrick SquarePants.
ripping out of them, and then he puts them on again while he's talking them through how to drive. 100% great.
Yeah.
Jackson, what you got?
Yeah, I don't know if I can pick a quote, but I just like in the first episode how at the beginning we see how nice SpongeBob and Patrick's relationship is. We get a little good moment of some goodwill by SpongeBob, and then at the end of the episode they're walking out of Squidward's apartment while he's physically injured, and they call him pathetic and are like laughing at him. That's SpongeBob for you. Anyway.
A horrible being.
All right, my favorite moment
Or
would be
Squidward.
the way that SpongeBob
But,
says the bow when he's answering the oral test. I don't know why.
The bow.
The bow, but it did it for me, and that's got to be it right there. All right, fellas.
I like that.
How
What
do you
ratings?
rank this episode?
Okay. So the first part. What was the name of it?
No, we're not
Naughty
ranking them separate. You
Nautical
gotta rank them
Neighbors?
together.
Yeah, just the
Oh,
whole thing.
together as a whole package. Naughty Nautical Neighbors. I'd probably give it a 4. 4 spongies out of 5 spongies. It was just really solid all the way around. Some really solid jokes. Some good, some really funny animations.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggy off of that immediately. I'm kind of close to agreeing. I'm actually gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think the animations are really weak and everything, but I laughed several times during this.
Yeah,
It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
This is 4 spongies out of 5 for me. It's a good episode. Very memorable from a child.
I'm going to give it 98 refilled glasses of soda water out of 100. There are very
Oh.
few legitimate criticisms of this episode. It's hilarious through and through. I don't care about the bad animation. It's just good. It's just good.
I like it. All right, Baby Jim.
IMDb ranks us at 8.4 out of 10. I'm actually going to disagree with that. I'm going to go lower. I think the animation actually hurt it for me. I enjoyed some of the visual gags. And also on IMDb, we've got an ad for Enola Holmes. And so I'm going to give it 7. I'm going to give it 6.9 Enola Holmes 2 out of 10. So that's where we're at right now.
Wait.
Got it.
Better be careful before Drake comes here, man.
Oh, yeah, because Billy Bobby Brown. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was SpongeBob episode 4. And it seems like we enjoyed it for the most part. And I hope to see you guys for episode 5, which is a hot topic in this environment. Pizza delivery, home sweet pineapple. Maybe we got a little hot take about pizza delivery.
Oh, you gotta
Maybe
tune
we
in.
got a hot take about pizza delivery. Yeah, you have to tune in next week to find out. See you guys later.
Later, spongies.
I'm Sponges.